Hey folks, how you doing? This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast right here on the American Liberty Radio Network for the 7th of July. Boy, the 7th already. Wow. Time flies, doesn't it? I mean, here we are, the 7th of July, 2015, and we just breezed through the first 6 months, didn't we? Here it is in the 7th month, and we got a lot going on. We got a lot going on as a society, as individuals, as groups, and we're so concerned about ourselves that we fail to, and I say that, fail to be concerned about this country. Are we selfish? Or are we taking those moments that we have and developing quality time with our family members? Are we doing what needs to be done to, to really prepare ourselves for tomorrow? That's a lot of deep thought there, isn't it? It's some very deep thought. But I also look at it this way, that if there was a time in anyone's life that they could say, hey, this is an opportunity for us, for me, for you, for anybody else, even if you look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, today is my day. If there was any time in history that would give us those moments, I think it is today. Because we have a lot going on. And a lot of people want to stop us. Why? Well, there are people out there that don't like peace, freedom, security, and liberty for the United States. They don't want it. They don't care. They look upon it, those four things, and they're just appalled at the fact that anybody could have that much freedom and liberty for peace and security. Why is that? Well, today is the day that we have the opportunity to show these people what this is, what the liberty and freedom we have is all about, that would create the peace and security that we need. Okay? My question to you is, are you willing to step up to the plate in this time of opportunity to make that, to examine those things, obviously, and make those things happen, to show the rest of the world what America is truly like, what the United States specifically can do for people? Because I'll tell you what, as of right now, it's not looking all that great. But the opportunity is there for greatness. We have to remember that. At first, we have to look at ourselves. We have to examine that. Then we have to ask ourselves the question, is this my opportunity? And if the answer is yes, the door is open. Let's make it happen. Go to break. I'll be right back. Don't go away. This is the American Liberty Radio Network, AmericanLibertyRadio.com. You can email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Be back in just a minute. The reality underneath the honesty. Listen to Brian Lang over at Live Truth Radio. Go to livetruthradio.com for more information. What we see is not reality. It is distorted reality. Distorted Reality with Nick Tucker on Facebook. The only choice for all your independent hits on the internet. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Go to RadioRockTheBlitz.blogspot.com. Hey folks, how you doing? This is the Wayne S. Pierce Show right here for the 7th of July, 2015. Yeah, what are we doing, folks? What are we doing? How have we come to this position in the United States? How have we? And let me give you the answer to that question. We've allowed it. We have systematically told ourselves that, well, if we vote someone else into office and we vote this jerk out, things will get better. Have they gotten better in 239 years? Well, let's just be more realistic. Have they gotten better since the Act of 1871? I doubt it. Matter of fact, I see it. No, we haven't gotten better, okay? And it's just getting worse and worse and worse. American Liberty Radio Network on Facebook, if you would, please. Thank you very much. Obama blames GOP for sanctuary city murder committed by illegal immigrant deported 5 times. In other words, he's blaming the Republicans. We have a failed immigration policy in this country. We have failed policies in this country that are literally tearing this country apart. Gerald Celente at said the globe is burning and the collapse has already happened. Trends Journal. It's also on Infowars.com. From WeAreChange.org, poll, independents will soon outnumber Republicans and Democrats combined. Okay. From nationofchange.org, Greece, what you are not being told by the media. And from 21stCenturyWire.com, Greece, the one biggest lie you are being told by the media. And Lord Monckton on the Paris Climate Summit, authoritarian world government less than 6 months away. Okay? I just seem to have this keen sense of what is going on because, well, I actually do my research. I actually look this stuff up. I actually find information that is quite credible and quite useful. I know a lot of people would look at me and say, well, that's your truth. That's theirs, and you're taking somebody else's opinion and blah, 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 etc., etc., etc. Let me tell you something about people. Not only in a generic, general sense, not only do people not want to look at the truth and the facts, it scares the hell out of them. It frightens them down to the core of their very being once, they're confronted with the truth and the facts. Why? Because it blows their version of their world apart. It tears away at their paradigm of what they think is real to them. And guess what? They've been living a lie all this time. Okay? The reason why, and it goes back to what I said, the reason why people say, well, we'll just vote this jerk out of office and vote somebody else in. The reason why they say that is because they do not like the truth. They do not like the facts. They don't like being confronted or told that they were wrong. Okay? Now, I myself, pretty much growing up in a very mature family and a very educated mother and very educated grandmother, I understood that you take responsibility for what you say, what you do. Why? Because your actions speak louder than words. So the only other remedy to any mistake that we make or anything that we do or anything that we hide ourselves from, the only self-responsible thing that we can do is admit that we're wrong and go from there. Do we? No, because it's too difficult. And we don't like difficult things. We don't like difficult as human beings. We don't like that. We've gone from tilling the ground to building homes to farming acres and acres of land to what? To a group of people that would rather sit behind a desk, punch a bunch of buttons, and make life easier for not only ourselves, but hopefully for someone else. We've gotten lazy and complacent in this country, and this is why we have the society we have in this country, and that is exactly why we have the administration that we have in this country. When in fact, and you can look this up in history, our founding fathers said, in a whole lot more words than what I'm about to present, don't have a centralized government and don't have a centralized banking system and don't get entangled with foreign, arenas in any way, shape, or form. Okay? Do not engage in foreign entanglements. Do not have a central banking system. Do not have a centralized government. And what do we have? We have all three of those. Why? Because we're lazy and complacent. Is lazy and complacent a little redundant? I don't know, but you get my point. I find it incredibly odd. Odd in the way that when your dog hears a strange sound, he tilts his head. I find it very odd that the sound that I hear from the general public is, let's vote that jerk out and vote someone else in that can do what we want. You're changing one form of puppetry for another. Okay? The political theater is not for your liking. It is for your enslavement. Okay? Think about this for a minute. Here we are in a society in the United States of America where people have been told that they come here to find opportunity. I talked about opportunity in the opening of the show. Did I not? Have I not made that point? But here's the thing. When a person or a group of people oppose any type of control, what is the first thing they want to do? They want to control it their way, changing one form of puppetry for another. And then they got to set up leaders, and then they got to change this, and then you got to change that, and then they're going to do this, and then people are going to get pissed off at you because it's not their way. You know, we should not have a centralized government at all, ever. Each state is a country unto itself. Each state has a governor, a president. Each state has 3 branches of government. Each state has their own form of taxation, which obviously on a local level can work, but not on a national level. Flat tax across the board at 15%, no matter how much money you make, that will help the state. Federally, wouldn't help at all. Flat tax. But we have the opportunity to change everything. We have the opportunity right now to change everything. Unfortunately, there's a group of people that tend to argue the point ad nauseum to wear down their opposition to the degree that all they're going to do is change one form of puppetry to another. That's all. That's all. I'll give you a prime example, and I know this is probably a bad example, but it proves my point. When Jim Henson passed away, Steve Whitmire became Kermit the Frog. Same puppet, different operator. Okay? This is what I'm talking about. We've got a government filled with people vying for control, except that it's one puppet, the entity itself, Washington, D.C., trying to be operated by 2 separate people. And when one goes away, another one comes in. And when that one goes away, another one comes in. It's a never-ending cycle of insanity from the infinite ignorance of the people in Washington, D.C. It's never going to change until you and I take the opportunity now to make the changes we need to make to end this puppet politics. Period. A lot of people don't like that. And that is the facts. A lot of people don't like that. So they're going to go hide away. They're going to go, close themselves off and just watch their ESPN and do all that. They don't care. They don't care. If it's not affecting me, it doesn't matter. It is affecting you. I don't care if you're sitting in your easy chair drinking a beer watching your ESPN. It's going to affect you. I'm going to take a little break. Not long. I'll be right back. AmericanLibertyRadio.com. AmericanLibertyRadio at USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio at USA.com. Got a question? Ask. If I don't know, I'll tell you, I don't know. This is the American Liberty Radio Network. Go to AmericanLibertyRadio.com. and email us at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Are you a voice actor? Would you like to perform on radio plays? Send your audition clips to Eastland Radio Theater. Scripts are available. Send your information to Eastland Radio Theater at USA.com. The reality underneath the honesty. LiveTruthRadio.com. Hey folks, how you doing? Welcome back. Short segment here. This is American Liberty Radio Network. American Liberty Radio Network on Facebook. Check it out. Also, AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Check that one out too. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, even if you disagree with me, the burden of proof is on you. Email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Anyway, folks, what can I say? Lots of stuff going on. Hey, you can help out the American Liberty Radio Network if you go to AmericanLibertyRadio.com and click on the store, and there's stuff there as well. You can get your food supplies. You can get a book. I wrote a book. Did you know that? Well, you know it now. I wrote a book called Many Directions of Man. It's available on the website at AmericanLibertyRadio.com. It's also available at Amazon.com as well. So check that out. Many Directions of Man. You can also find me on Twitter at RealWSPierce. That's the Twitter handle, at RealWSPierce. Check that out as well. Some of my posts on my Facebook page go directly to Twitter, so you'll know. All right, so there you go. Lots more coming up. Hey, go over and tell a friend of mine I sent you. Mr. Tom Slick over at Radio Rock, 92.6 The Blitz. Yes, Radio Rock, 92.6 The Blitz on Spreaker.com, and also you can listen to it live as well at RadioRockTheBlitz.blogspot.com. Tell Tom Slick that Wayne Pierce over at American Liberty Radio sent you. And also go check out another friend of mine, Mr. Brian Lang over at LiveTruthRadio.com. Yes, LiveTruthRadio.com. Check that out as well. And go check out Mr. Spencer Hughes at SpencerHughes.net. He's on all sorts of places, and right now he's over at, well, not now, but in a little bit he'll be broadcasting live from Talk910.com and out of the Bay Area of communist California. But anyway, yes, that's Spencer Hughes. For more information about Spencer Hughes, go to his website at SpencerHughes.net. Check that out. He's also got a Facebook page, fans of Spencer Hughes, or Spencer Hughes. Just look him up on Facebook as well. Lots of things, man, I'm telling you. What do you think about Donald Trump's message? I'm going to say it's a message. There are things about him as a person that I don't like, but his message is clear. His message is right on. The immigration policies of the United States of America are a complete disaster. Okay? I believe we need to close the damn border right now. We need hundreds of militia, not hundreds, how about thousands, tens of thousands of militia and citizens down at the southern border closing it off. Now, that would leave the northern border open, wouldn't it? Well, guess what? Washington, Idaho, Montana, North Dakota, Ohio, Michigan. By the way, got a little something to say, but those states need to start closing off their borders. No, when I'm not protecting them. No, it's close them off. Okay, close them. Don't dilly-dally around, as my grandmother used to tell me. Close them off. Okay? And the reason why is because the United States of America financially cannot handle any more immigrants. I don't care where the hell you're from. We can't handle you. Stay home. Okay? Well, there's nothing there. I know. I don't care. You should have figured that one out a long time ago. We're broke. What part of we're in the toilet don't you understand? Okay? So there's that. So I think Donald Trump was actually right on with his assessment of the situation with this immigrant in this Kate Steinle in San Francisco being killed by an illegal immigrant who was convicted 7 times and deported 5 times and kept returning. Well, there's a problem. It's called sanctuary cities. San Francisco should be cut off from the rest of California, and there you go. Now, I had to take a little coffee, folks. Anyway, now I understand that there are groups of people in Northern California and Southern Oregon that want to create their own state called Jefferson. I'm all for that. Why? Because the current system in California doesn't work. The current system in Nevada doesn't work. And it's Nevada, not Nevada. Okay? It doesn't work. Okay? The system that began worked. Okay? I mean, seriously. But because of complacency and laziness of the citizens and the excuses of, well, let's vote that jerk out and vote someone else in, has caused the problems. I think it's time now that we identify those problems, accept responsibility for the disasters those problems created, and fix it. Because we have the opportunity right now to do so before the elections, okay? Consider this is only 2015. These elections campaigns are going to be going on till next November 2016. Okay? Why does it take 18 months for candidates to rally the people together behind their cause? It doesn't. We the people are onto them. And those ideas that these candidates have will not work, period. Because they're telling you what you want to hear. But behind closed doors, and it's come out in records from former cabinet members from Ford and Carter, when you walk in and plant your butt in that big chair in that Oval Office, a couple of people walk in, throw a briefcase on the table, on your desk, and say, yeah, we know what you heard. We know what you said in your campaign. We heard that, but guess what you're really going to do? Here's what you're really going to do. And we'll do what we have to make you look good, but you're not going to implement anything that you've said. You know why? It's because Washington, D.C. is United States of America Incorporated. We need to repeal the Act of 1871 to cut off all this crap and get our country back into the hands of the people. That is what we need to do. Okay? That's what we need to do. Bottom of the hour, folks, man. This show goes by too quick. It does. Email me if you have any questions. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. Check out the website at AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Hey, I'll be back right after this. Don't go away. There's more to come.
A grand adventure.
Yeah.
From the directorial debut of Brian James Griffo, two brothers faced with a rare genetic disease that causes blindness decide to take a journey of a lifetime and answer the question, what would you see if you knew you were going to go blind?
It honestly makes me feel so small and like whatever problems I have are nothing.
What would you do?
You're supposed to smell it first.
Who would you meet?
This is an opportunity for us to connect with people.
In a groundbreaking documentary that cuts to the heart of what it means to be a brother.
It blows my mind that 100 years ago, this is how people would have done this trip that we're doing. Yep.
And gain a world of vision while losing eyesight. Come along to be inspired and reminded of the very meaning of life through a 12,000-mile road trip. Driving Blind. Coming soon.
Coming to America.
Hey, this is Frank Hannon. I want to tell you about an exciting brand new rock and roll album coming out this year by guitarist Greg Golden. Greg Golden's new album is some old school sounding rock and roll music that's sure to be a classic, featuring some killer songs, blazing guitar solos, and awesome lead vocals by Jeff Sandoval and Randy Scholes from Montrose. Take a listen to some of these songs on this album. Check out the new Greg Golden album coming out on Red Hawk Records this year. www.greggoldenband.com.
It is official. The Supreme Court of the United States of America has ruled that same-sex marriages are now legal in all 50 states. And Congress has passed the Trans-Pacific Partnership, essentially destroying the Constitution and Bill of Rights of the United States of America. We are officially now the North American Union. It is now time to rebel against the international banking cartels and fight once again, as our ancestors did in 1776, and defend our freedoms and liberties. There is no time like the present to push forward for the sake and principles of freedom. The people are resilient and will continue to stand against tyranny and the New World Order. The choice is clear and decisions have been made. This is our last chance to fight for what is true and right. This is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their country. It is now time for all of us to stand and fight, defend the principles of liberty so that we can be free once more.
Hey folks, how you doing? Short segment here. I just want to remind you that you can go to AmericanLibertyRadio.com for any other information that you have questions about. Or, hey, better yet, email me if you have any questions at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. There's a lot going on. Just a ton of stuff, and it changes like every 5 minutes, don't you think? I mean, you can look at this stuff. You can look at this stuff and just go, wait a minute. That news organization over there on that channel said this, and this news organization here on this channel is saying this. They're both the same. Why? Because it's written from the same script. I don't know why people can't understand that. Things are changing every day. Things are changing every 5 minutes, it seems. And get this. There's so many people out there that now the general public is beginning to see just how I'll use this word loosely, how diabolical this system truly is. Okay? They're beginning to see the flaws. They're beginning to see the whole issue of, how this whole thing is playing out. They're beginning to see this. They're beginning to understand how this whole system is now rigged for the benefit of the corporatists running Washington, D.C. They understand this now. They know this. But not enough people are out in the streets of the United States demanding change. Remember, Obama was saying hope and change. When 5 days prior to his inauguration, or 5 days prior, whatever, I think it was that, he said that he wants to make a fundamental transformation of the United States of America. And then at one point he said that we have to have a well-armed, citizenry or whatever. I can't remember the exact thing he said. But if you put all of those things together from 2008 to 2012, even today, you will see that he is the linchpin in the destruction of the United States of America. And he'll hand it over to the corporatists in a heartbeat. I don't think he'll leave office in 2017. I hope I'm wrong. But the corporatists have a puppet, and they're going to use him to get what they want. Little break here, folks. I gotta step away just for a moment. You don't have to. You can go to AmericanLibertyRadio.com or email me at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. Don't go away. There's more to come. This is the American Liberty Radio Network. Go to AmericanLibertyRadio.com and email us at AmericanLibertyRadio@USA.com. The only choice for all your independent hits on the internet. Radio Rock 92.6 The Blitz. Go to RadioRockTheBlitz.blogspot.com. Are you a voice actor? Would you like to perform on radio plays? Send your audition clips to Eastland Radio Theater. Scripts are available. Send your information to Eastland Radio Theater at USA.com. Hey folks, welcome back. This is the last segment of the podcast. How are you? There's a lot of things. I want you to go to one other place, if you would, please. Check them out if you'd like. If you're a podcaster, broadcaster, or just want some really cool stuff. All right. Go to musicradiocreative.com. Go check out Mike Russell and Isabella Russell over there. Tell them Wayne Pierce from American Liberty Radio Network sent you. And, yeah, check them out, man. They're really cool. And they'll, email them. They'll talk to you. So check it out. Music Radio Creative for all your audio and production needs. musicradiocreative.com. Anyway, have you ever woke up and just had that morning voice that just wouldn't go away? Sounds like I got that. From rickwells.us, authoritarian world government less than 6 months away, Lord Monckton on Paris Climate Summit. Lord Christopher Monckton is an expert on the world totalitarian coup and scam that is the UN global warming hoax. He was interviewed on the P.P. Simmons program about the current push for world government under the climate guise and the involvement of Pope Francis, as well as many other interesting and dangerous aspects of the increasingly frenetic push to force us into compliance. He notes how self-government is increasingly becoming unpopular with the governing class, noting the underlying drive behind the UN climate change hysteria has been, from the start, the establishment of the United Nations global government. He points out that much of the structure for the global government has already been established in secret, with the upcoming December Paris Climate Summit being a key gathering for promoting the scam. He talks of the supranational global bureaucracy to establish what is now being referred to as a quote-unquote governing body rather than a world government due, Monckton says, to the outcry after he exposed their plans in 2009. There's a video there, and you can go to American Liberty Radio Network on Facebook and check that out. Also from 21stCenturyWire.com, as soon as the page comes up, Greece, the one biggest lie you are being told by the media. Sean Helton over there at 21stCenturyWire.com wrote this. Thank you, Sean. Every single mainstream media has the following narrative for the economic crisis in Greece. The government spent too much money and went broke. The generous banks gave them money, but Greece still can't pay the bills because it mismanaged the money that was given. It sounds quite reasonable, right? Except that it's a big fat lie. Not only about Greece, but about other European countries such as Spain, Portugal, Italy, and Ireland, who are all experiencing various degrees of austerity. It was also the same big fat lie that was used by banks and corporations to exploit many Latin American, Asian, and African countries for many decades. Greece did not fail on its own. It was made to fail. In summary, the banks wrecked the Greek government, and wrecked havoc as well, and then deliberately pushed it into unsustainable debt, while revenue-generating public assets were sold off to oligarchs and international corporations. The rest of the article is about how and why, so you might want to go check that out on the American Liberty Radio Network Facebook page. That is happening here, folks. Okay, that's happening here. Oh, and by the way, Iceland told EU to go shove it and they jailed their corrupt bankers, and they kicked out the European Union. And guess what? Iceland is now prospering. I think the United States needs to take a page out of their book and figure out what we can do to our banking system over here. Told you before, our founding fathers told us not to have a central banking system. But what do we have? Did we learn our lesson? There's a video from Gerald Celente from his organization, Trends Journal. It's on Infowars.com. The globe is burning and the collapse has already begun. Can humanity reverse the globalist agenda? Alex Jones talks with Trends forecaster Gerald Celente about the collapse and what the future holds for the world. Please check that out. Thank you. Also from Kane TV, Herman Cain, former presidential candidate. Obama blames GOP for sanctuary city murder committed by illegal immigrant deported 5 times. Okay? Interesting. I'm not even going to go into that article. You can read it on American Liberty Radio Network on Facebook. Now, let me point something out. We have a system which has been too generous to people. We have a system which has been wrought with corruption and just all sorts of problems. We have a system that has created dependence instead of supporting independence. We have a system of government that is completely and utterly corrupt. Now, I remember looking back in history, and I don't remember exactly who said this or where the concept came from, but one of the people in the Europe, I believe it was 1776. One European country or somebody over there, I think in England, I'm not sure, someone may want to look this up and share that with me, said literally that this experiment of self-governance is not going to work. Well, it worked pretty well up until 1871, didn't it? For 90 years or 95 years, we had a pretty good thing going, didn't we? Check it out, 1776, 1871. Right? We had a pretty good thing going. And then somebody screwed it up. Can we say President Ulysses S. Grant, who reluctantly, by the way, became president? He didn't want it. He didn't want to do that. Go back and read what he wrote. I mean, he did not want to be president of he said, no, don't even, no. But they hogtied him. And they put him in office. And I don't think he was fully corrupt, as some people would say. I think that he was corrupted from the outside and could not do anything because his hands were tied. Consider that he was elected president only, I believe, 2 years before the Act of 1871 was signed into law. So think about that one, folks. This has been going on long before the Act of 1871. I mean, think about it. We got a bunch of people from Western Europe over here back in the 15 to 1600s, right? Back in the 16th and 17th century, right? And they started putting together the farms and all that. And it was a British colony over here. They all got grouped together in like 13 colonies in New England, right? And that's why they call it New England, because it was 13 colonies. And they got together and said, what? King George is doing what? 1773, Boston Tea Party. Go check it out. 1773, I think, 74, somewhere. And they disguised themselves as people that other people didn't like. And I think some reports say they disguised themselves as the Native Americans, or they went out there as they got, in other words, they disguised themselves so people wouldn't recognize them for who they truly were. And Robert Bruce over at WakingUpTheMasses.com tells you who they are. He identifies almost each and every single one of them through historical documents. Go look him up. Robert Bruce on Facebook or WakingUpTheMasses.com. He has a show, Waking Up the Masses, on TruthFrequencyRadio.com. Go check him out. Tell him I sent you. But when in 1773 these people were throwing tea over into the harbor because they got pissed off at King George and said, no, you're not going to tax us anymore. We're done with it. We don't want taxes. That was their way of saying we don't want taxes on our goods. As a matter of fact, taxes are illegal, folks. The majority of the United States of America at the time that bill came, into Congress, right? The vast majority of the states never signed on to it, never accepted it. Okay? So they're highly illegal. Okay? Now, of course, people would say, well, how are you going to run the country without having an income? Hello? Some people have said, well, all these politicians, they're serving their country. They should do it for free. Pretty much that's the case, because when you look at Benjamin Franklin, when you look at all these other people that were presidents from the time, they were farmers, they were wine sellers, they had grape vineyards, and that's their job. That's how they made money. They didn't get paid to be president. I don't think anybody should get paid to be president of the United States. Matter of fact, if we repeal the Act of 1871, I think that's going to be it. That'd be the solution right there. But anyway, along came Ulysses S. Grant, signed the Act of 1871 into law, and nothing has been the same since. Now, my question is, and some people have said, well, if he didn't do that, then we wouldn't be able to trade with other countries and we wouldn't be technologically advanced as we are. Seriously? I don't know that for sure, but I can tell you that's compelling arguments right there. I'm going to highlight something from yesterday, and that is, and this goes in line with what I'm talking about right now, but I want to preface it by saying this. I'm sure you have your own perspective on this as well. Naturalnews.com, land of the free? Government's increasingly making it illegal to live unplugged from the matrix. J.D. Hayes over at naturalnews.com contributed to this. As state and local governments increasingly stretch themselves to the financial breaking point with free services and taxpayer-supported benefits, in addition to offering their normal services as well, they have become even more reliant on citizen participation in the mainstream. In short, governments need all the tax money and revenues they can get, and they get them when citizens remain part of the system. That's why it is becoming more and more risky for Americans who choose to live their lives, quote unquote, off the grid, so to speak. Anyone who does reduces cash flow to the state and local governments that rely on every dollar they can get in order to stay afloat. The phenomenon came to a head recently when one couple living in Huntsville, Alabama, the city has forbidden them from living off the grid, as they have attempted to do, and has threatened them with jail if they refuse to jump back in line. 100% self-sustaining is now a crime in some cities. As reported by the Activist Post, Tyler Truitt, a veteran of the United States military, found it ironic that he was forced to answer for his attempt to live off the grid to a judge at City Hall. Quote, I just don't see how we're hurting anyone by being here, unquote, he told Activist Post. And the Post further reported, quote, Truitt and his girlfriend, Soraya Hamar, are within Huntsville city limits, but lived self sufficiently without city utilities. The city officials said that's simply not allowed and filed a lawsuit. They are claiming care of the couple's safety. However, the couple are not without utility comforts, but have found a way to provide for themselves without the city services, unquote. They live on their own volition and devices 100%. They have homemade utilities such as solar panels, and they collect rainwater for their water use, among other assets. But city officials have classified their dwelling as a trailer, and, well, trailers aren't permitted inside the city limits. That's, I'm going to put that at the top of the American Liberty Radio Network Facebook page, because you guys have got to read the rest of that. My question to city officials is, who made you God? No, seriously. That's a good question. Who made you God? Who gave you the authority to tell other people how to live? Who gave you the authority to put people in jail for not doing what you tell them to do? No one. You don't have authority, one, until the people give you that authority, and they never did. Okay? Well, they voted me into office. You're an idiot. They voted you into office to do what they want, not to cater to your corporate assets. I'll just leave it at that. They voted you into office to make sure that they were protected, not for you to control them. So you, city officials, who gave you that authority? No one did. If people want to live off the grid, they have a right to do that. They're not hurting anyone. Are they? Think about this, folks. You go camping on the weekend, don't you? Oh, and there was a story about camping. Well, of course, the story got a little more because the people were living really shabbily. And yes, the health of the children were a concern. But you go camping every weekend, don't you? You're living off the grid then, aren't you? Yes, you are. And you do quite well, don't you? So who gave the authority to the city officials to dictate to these people how to live? Remember what I said? We have the opportunity to change things right now. But I don't see too many people out in the streets demanding that change. I don't see too many people getting irate enough to demand that your city officials stand down. And either we, the people, will make that happen, and you will do what we want you to do, or we will close down City Hall, and we will close down city governments. Because we, the people, give you the authority. You don't take it. What we give, we can take. And you will do it now. That's the way I see it. Am I wrong? American Liberty Radio at USA.com. American Liberty Radio at USA.com. AmericanLibertyRadio.com. Go there, please. Liberty is the road, and freedom is the goal.